Hello, and welcome to an even Nerfecter episode of We Only Look Thin. I am one of your hosts, Boy Howdy. No, it's actually Donald Weigel.
Oh, it was you all along.
It was me all
I didn't
along.
recognize you with the mask.
You've never seen Boy Howdy and Donald Weigel in the same room at the same time, so you know that they're probably the same person.
I never made the connection.
Yeah, like when I'm Donald Weigel, I have my glasses on, and when I'm Boy Howdy, I take the glasses off. If you haven't listened to last week's episode,
maybe go back.
This probably makes no sense to you at all, but I am Donald Weigel, and I have lost about 100 pounds and kept it off for about 5.5 years, and with me, as always, is
Catherine Weigel, also known as G Whiskers.
G Whiskers, yes.
Which is an epithet, and also
this is the continuing adventures of G Whiskers and Boy Howdy.
Yep, yeah. And their adventures in weight loss. I have lost over 100 pounds, kept it off for over 6 years. I am a Tiny Habit certified coach. I am a Thrive Global certified coach.
Yeah.
And I am here today to help you pick right back up, dust off your sleeves and your belt buckles or whatever you have that have dust on them.
Yes, your dusty belt buckles.
Your dusty belt buckles. Oh my gosh, that is the name of our neighbor.
Our neighbor, Dusty Belt Buckles. I can't breathe.
Well, howdy, partners.
Dusty Belt Buckles is the nosy neighbor who comes over and like complains about our food choices.
Oh my gosh, who's like the perfectionist?
Yeah.
Who's like, what you need is like, hey, you kids, I thought you were on a diet.
Exactly.
With fat blasting workouts.
Yeah. So last week we did an episode called Pobody's Nerfect, and it was about what we think we need versus what we actually need, and about what Catherine and I thought we needed versus what we actually needed.
Yep, and we droned on so very long that we decided to split it into 2 bite-sized episodes for you.
Yeah,
we did it for you, dear
We recorded
listener.
the whole thing at once as if it was one episode, but now it's 2.
And we reflected upon it.
Yes, we reflected upon it, and it turns out that Catherine and I like to talk, in case you hadn't noticed, and thought that the episode would be better broken into 2, so we stopped it at a respectable place.
Yep.
And now we're giving you part 2, the rest of the episode, and it is even more fantastic, awesome content that you have for your listening pleasure.
Yeah, so I can't remember if you said this because we say a lot of words. If you haven't listened to part 1, go back and do that, and then come back here and listen to this and learn all about Boy Howdy and Girl Friday and whatever.
we try and do these 2-parters in a way that you don't necessarily have to listen to both of them, but in this case, you should go back and listen to the first part.
So we're the boss of you. Go back and then listen again and say hello.
Yeah.
And then we will be
listening. Not that it won't make sense, but there will be some pieces missing.
It's background music. It's fine. But enjoy part 2 of this episode on perfection, and you don't need it. I'm spoiling the ender. Here we go.
And then next week there will be more of the continuing adventures of G Whiskers, Boy Howdy, and their nosy neighbor,
Dusty Belt Buckles.
Enjoy.
All right, so what else do we need?
People think that they need fat blasting daily workouts. I'm going to blast that fat. You look how fat you're going to get.
Belly busting.
Blasted.
Yeah, you're going to focus on my belly fat. Stubborn.
I can tell you, yes, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's stubborn like a mule.
Exactly. Get mule. Get you fat mule.
Oh my God.
I can tell you.
Tie a rope around it. Pulling it. Stubborn.
I tried to go from sitting on a couch to like going to the gym and doing every machine, and I just felt destroyed trying to do that. Or I had a personal trainer for a good chunk of time, and this person would have me doing exercises I just absolutely couldn't stand doing and I hated. And they were effective, in air quotes, over the short term, but eventually I just dreaded every single day of going, and I didn't want to do them. And so I stopped. stopped. And
then
the
gained
weight came back on, and it came back on fast.
Well, and a lot of times as we sort of go through all of these, when we get that inspiration to finally lose weight, when we get the first day of the program, or it shows up in the mail, or the hula hoop with the like cat of nine tails around it shows up.
Or the shake weight.
And the shake, like all the things show up. It's like, oh, this is it. This is the promise I've been waiting for. If I just do this forever, it's going to be over. And then I'm going to be like on the cover of a magazine, or in their, like in the infomercial commercial at the end, being like, I'm fixed forever. And we feel like we're not great people because we need to lose weight. And the way to make up for that is for a punishing workout,
yes, exactly.
punishing
That's
food,
a great point.
punishing calories, because we associate it with being bad and not having enough willpower. All those thin people are right. Like we just don't have enough whatever. So we've got to punish ourselves and feel bad about ourselves.
And guess what happens when you start associating like exercise as punishment? Like when you start making that connection, you feel punished, and then you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. And then you feel like any non-compliance, which compliance makes me want to punch things and fork stab.
Yeah. It makes you want to do a fat blasting workout.
Yeah, blast something.
By punching.
Like it feels like punishment, and then it becomes punishment. And then if we don't do it, it's because we're bad people. And we are not bad people. We are people with complicated lives. And guess what? There's an alternative to fat blasting workouts, Donald.
What's that?
And guess what it is? It's really boring. It's like movement.
I just asked you to tell me what it is. I don't want to guess anymore.
It's just movement we enjoy.
I'm too tired to guess.
It's just like, hey, can you walk over to Rite Aid and go get something?
Yeah.
Hey, why don't we walk to the library? Hey, why don't we do a little bit of stretching so that we're not sore in the morning?
Yeah, and for us, that turned out to be walking. And when I realized that walking counted as exercise...
No, that's dumb.
Like, seriously, it was like the heavens opened up. Like, I didn't think that counted. I didn't think it was real exercise. But, oh my goodness, it burns calories, and I don't hate it, and I actually enjoy it.
Do you know that yesterday was the anniversary of our 2017...
Oh, yeah.
40-mile walk.
Yeah.
That Donald,
you did mention that,
Speaking of fat blasting, punishing workouts.
Yeah, I found out that the highest medal that Fitbit gave out was 100,000 steps in one day, and I decided that I needed that because I'm motivated by that sort of thing.
So I joined him because I didn't want him dead on the side of the road.
Yeah, she didn't trust me to do it by myself. So
it's like he's going to be kidnapped.
So
or
we walked
by...
40 miles, and I was absolutely destroyed.
I found my journal from the walk, and the tops of my feet hurt. Who walks until the tops of their feet hurt?
Everything hurt. Everything hurt.
I think you might have even barfed afterward.
I did. We ate a meal, and then I couldn't keep it down. I've never thrown up from exercise before. It was not a great idea.
But he got the medal.
Yeah.
I haven't done it since. I promised myself I would Uber back home if I needed to.
Yeah, I've done a few 50,000 step days. And by a few, I mean one a year, but not 100.
But now we prioritize hey, we're older folks now. We fall into the middle-aged category now. I might go for a little swim later on today. We might take a little walk at IKEA a little bit later on to enjoy some air conditioning.
Yeah, the point here is to find some movement that you actually enjoy. We also have these mini trampolines called rebounders, and we don't really jump on them, but we sort of mimic walking on those, and it burns a lot of calories. It gets the heart rate up, and it's another thing that we enjoy doing, and we can do them inside when the weather's bad and do it in front of the TV so we can binge watch our favorite shows. And then we also prioritize NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is all of the calories that you burn from not exercising, just from sort of being a human throughout the day.
Doing laundry, taking out the trash, vacuuming. Our daughter thinks that I love vacuuming. No, I love NEAT, and also I like neat floors. So it kind of goes in together.
But sort of, imagining when you're doing these tasks, how can I burn the most calories while I'm doing it? Instead of picking up all of your groceries at one time and carrying them upstairs, making multiple trips, like that sort of thing. Or if you're like, walking back and forth from the kitchen, like trying to do it multiple times instead of trying to do it all in one trip.
Right. And I know for years what I would do is I would get all Eye of the Tiger, which is a 1980s reference to a song called Eye of the Tiger by the same name.
Rising up,
Eye of the
straight
Tiger.
to the top.
Yeah. But I would do a workout, and I see this online a lot of I'm starting a new routine tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to walk. Like, I'm not going to be able to lift. I'm going to work out so hard that I'll be ruined. And we think that pain equals progress. And really, if what it used to do to me was I would do like 100 squats or lunges or whatever, and then not be able to walk for, 4 or 5 days. And so then I wouldn't work out for 4 or 5 days because I'd be in too much pain. We realized that small sustainable steps and like maybe a few lunges, a few halfway, moderate, whatever, was enough to keep me going and not be in so much pain that I couldn't keep going. So now it is a continuum. Meet yourself where you are. Sure, push yourself a little bit. Make a sweat. Break a sweat. Do you make a sweat or break a sweat?
Yes, both.
Don't make a sweat.
You break it. You break a sweat.
All right, Donald, make a sweat.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't sound good. Okay, don't make a sweat. Break a sweat.
Exactly.
So just start yourself where you are. Meet yourself where you are. Push a little bit harder. But you don't have to do fat. No one blasting anything. It's not fracking. You don't like frack stuff. You don't blast.
That's dangerously close to a curse word on this podcast.
What else, Donald?
So the next thing that we think we need is for someone to tell us exactly what and when to eat.
Yep.
And, it's that thing of that paint by numbers. We just want a paint by numbers plan, someone to tell us exactly the right things to do all the time so that we can do them. And again, this leads to you're trying to follow 100% compliance to a plan. And, we as human beings, we like variety. Like, we like change. And when something new comes along, we might be able to do it for a little while. It might be new and exciting, but eventually it gets dull and boring. And we need to take agency in what we eat and in what we put in our bodies.
And sure, we can take suggestions from others on like combinations of foods to eat or prioritizing certain things and understanding how we feel. But when we take a prescription on an exact plan to follow from someone else, we're doing two things. We are taking away our ability to make choices for ourselves, and we're also able to place the blame on them if it doesn't work. Well, I don't like cucumbers. This plan isn't for me. Well, I don't like eating 1 meal a day. I don't like eating, 20 meals a day. When we say like, oh no, I can't do it because of X, we're taking the responsibility away from ourselves and being able to say, well, I just don't like that kind of food.
Yeah.
I don't like the way that shake tastes. I don't like whatever. So I'm not going to do anything. If I did, life sure would be easy. If I liked, I'm trying to think of something. I always say okra.
Okra.
Sorry
yeah.
to find
I knew
people.
you were going to say okra, just like I always say basketball. When we were talking about activity that you
you
enjoy,
were going to say basketball.
I specifically avoided saying basketball because you always accuse me of saying basketball.
Okay, cutest thing ever though.
Yeah.
When you lived with your parents back in the day, when we were kids,
right,
and just starting out,
very young kids.
His family had a dachshund.
Oh my goodness, the dog used to try and play basketball with us. It was the cutest thing in the world.
The basketball along with his nose.
Yeah.
In the parking area.
We would
so cute.
Take the dog to the basketball court and shoot hoops, and then the dog would get a hold of the ball. His name was Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. Yeah.
And he would just push the ball around the basketball
and
court.
He was so excited.
Adorable.
So that was adorable. So I appreciate your basketball memories and diary there. So instead of waiting for someone else to tell you exactly what to do and when to do it, we have the opportunity to have agency in our lives and find out what works for us based on our unique preferences and lifestyle and schedule and actual human interaction with people. Hey, I really like this element, but I also want to add back in whatever. I don't like this food, and so I replace it with that. Oh, that's very interesting. Not like this is how I actually talk to people. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but like we can take inspiration from others. We can take suggestions.
Yeah.
But when we get to a point where we can adapt and adjust to make something fit our preferences, the more empowered we are. If I had to eat exactly what Donald was eating to lose weight, if I had to follow some thinfluencer on the interweb and just do exactly what they were doing, sure, I might lose weight for a period of time if I just follow it, paint by numbers. But as soon as I go back to eating what I want to eat and go back to my old habits without any agency and like, well, now I don't know what to do because I added this back in, then we fall apart. And that's why I gained weight over and over again, because as soon as I stopped complying, I had nothing to relying upon. That didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So making it my own has made it my responsibility, and I can adapt based on my current life circumstances.
Yeah, and I think that what you just said ties in directly to the next thing that we think we need, which is the perfect plan. And I think you basically just summed up. Like, I think we all think we need this perfect plan that is already like exactly laid out for us step by step. And I keep saying paint by numbers, but I think that is really what people want. They want just, okay, step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do that, and then you're done. And like, that's what we're looking for. But we really need a system of habits and behaviors that can be changed and adapted over time. Like, I really think there is no perfect plan. The perfect plan is the one that you can modify as your life changes. Like, I'm like, the very basics are the same as what I was doing 7 years ago, which is counting my calories and moving. But the specifics are very different. Like, the actual foods I'm eating, the times of day I'm eating them, like what exercise I'm doing, when I'm doing it, how much of it I'm doing. Like, I've had to really change and adapt all those things based on changes in my life over the last 7 years.
Yeah. And I know when we're starting out, it can feel really overwhelming. I need someone to tell me what to do because I don't even know how to model making good behaviors. So having a guide like Weight Watchers or tracking calories, something that you can sort of look at and then adapt, it does matter, especially when you're like, I have never done anything like this and I don't even know where to start. So having a framework in mind matters. Look, we've done tons of episodes on that, but it's not about having the plan with a capital THE. With the capitals, A capitals,
capital THE, yes.
They capitals. It is about just starting and making some progress. And then the more comfortable you get, the more you're able to adapt. So there's definitely an evolution here.
Another thing that we think we need, that I thought I needed, that many people think they need, is to set their ideal weight goal and put it on a deadline.
Oh.
I need to lose X amount of pounds by the end of the year. I need to lose X amount of pounds before my class reunion. I need to hit my weight goal. I need to hit it 3 months from now, and that is the deadline, and it's there, and I'm going to hit it because I've set the deadline.
Right. And we confuse a deadline with a plan. Just saying, I'm 50 by 50. I'm going to be. It makes a great hashtag, but we confuse that with an actual system of habits and behaviors and like looking at our actual lifestyle. And it often leads to resentment and failure because as soon as we realize like, day one, we're like, all right, 50 pounds by the time I'm 50, that's a pound a day, whatever. And then by day 3, we're already like a pound up and we go, okay, well now I just need to lose 4 pounds a day. And then we're like looking into like where there's lots of sharks. So that we can we get into the extreme. Sorry, we're actually watching a video right now of like beautiful waves. It's a background thing. And I'm like, oh, maybe there's a good shark in there.
Maybe there's sharks in there so you can lose some weight through shark bite.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
But when we put a deadline in place, we confuse that with an actual lifestyle change. So consistent habits and behaviors will result in weight loss over time. And understanding that we can control our choices. I can control the calories that I eat, the things that I track, the water that I drink, the steps that I take. But sometimes like the actual end weight result, it's not going to be exact. We can focus on the lifestyle, but putting a deadline on it leads to defeat and to disappointment. When we don't hit it, see, this is just proof that I can't get it done. And then we give up and we gain weight until we find that new perfect plan or the perfect motivation.
Well, and look, there is no deadline. Like, I'm doing most of the same things. I know I just said I changed my plan a lot over the last 7 years, but I am doing most of the same things that I was doing 7 years ago now in order to maintain my weight. Like, I've had to become a healthy person. I've had to adopt a healthy lifestyle and do what a healthy person does and consistently do that over time in order to keep this going.
Exactly.
All right. So the next thing that people think
we're coming up to the end, everybody.
Yes,
we're getting there.
They think they need zero obstacles working against their goals. They think they need to get to a point where they have no stress, no schedule conflicts, and no temptations before they can do this.
Exactly. So when the kids are out of school, when it's summer, when I get the promotion, after we've paid off our bills, after the dog is done potty training, after the kids are done. As soon as
I get this project done at work, like if then I can focus on it.
Right. So never in the history of life have we had those perfect times with zero obstacles, perfect weather, perfect mindset, perfect everything, where we can just become the new people we're going to be and then be re-released out into the wild, like we're in some sort of like raptor recovery center. We're not, I don't know. There's like, I follow the raptor conservancy, and that's what they do.
My mind went to velociraptors from Jurassic Park.
No.
I thought you were making a dinosaur. No, there actually are raptors in real life. Sorry.
Yeah, no, like raptors. Anyway, but like, it's not like we're going to go on The Biggest Loser, go away to some camp, come back with all the new life skills and the weight loss, and then integrate back into society. Like, they're not just going to like open the crate and like let us back into the wilderness like a captured, I don't know, puma or I don't know, coyote or whatever,
all of those
raptor,
things,
velociraptor.
Right.
We don't have those perfect lives. And when we isolate ourselves, which is something I did in the past of like, I'm not going to go to parties. I'm not going to go to lunches. I'm not going to I'm just going to do my diet and then I'm going to get it over with. And then I'll go back out and see people and become the new Jan Brady. Like that.
The new Jan Brady.
It doesn't work like that.
And your boyfriend, George Glass.
So no one is going to pave a clear path for us. There's always going to be some hubbub going on in the world that's going to get in our way, and that's what life is, everybody.
Yeah. And I keep thinking there's just going to be this perfect time when I can just binge all the TV shows that I have like backed up on my list, or this perfect time when I can read all the books, and it's not going to come. I just need to like do what I can do right now. And it's the same with weight loss and fitness. I need to do what I can do right now because that perfect moment just isn't there.
Exactly.
All right. So the final thing.
This is it. This is a big one, everybody.
Yes, which may not be the final thing in the whole world, but it's the final thing for this episode.
For us. What do we need, Donald? What do we think we need?
We think we need all of the facts. We think we need to have everything figured out for the rest of our lives before we can start this thing.
Right. We need to know the perfect amount of calories, the perfect number of steps, exactly what our metabolism is, exactly what our biotype is, and our gut biome, and our blah, blah, like, is this plan the most cost-effective per pound lost? Is it does it adapt to all of the circumstances in the whole world?
Yeah. And I feel like I'm being personally attacked right now because I used to do this all the time. I needed to gather all the facts before I would even start.
But because we don't want to waste time. We want to make sure that we're not going to look foolish and we failed before. And what if this doesn't work? We approach this after decades of failed attempts or, we make progress and then life gets in the way. We feel very vulnerable because people notice when we gain weight. People notice oh, I thought you were on a diet. Oh, well, that didn't work. Oh, I see you're back to eating Ruffles again.
Oh my goodness.
It's so judged. It is so judged. We feel judged and we feel shame when things don't go our way. So we want to make sure that we're going in with as much data as possible to make sure that we're going into this fully prepared. And a lot of times we keep looking for information because we're afraid if we don't take the perfect steps that we're not going to get this right.
Yeah. And what you actually need is to do something that you can get yourself to do right now. Start with one small step and then try another step and keep going, and do it with the idea that you can adapt and change. You need to go into it knowing that you are going to have to change and change things up and figure things out as you're going along, because things are going to change. You're going to think you have the perfect idea of what to do, and then you're going to realize that you need to do something different or switch it up a little bit.
Right. And I know for me, the biggest transition and the biggest positive change that I have made is understanding that this isn't about the perfect plan, the endless motivation, the perfect choice. It's a forever and ever and ever. I know we have heard before, and we even earlier in the years of this podcast would say, do a plan that you can do forever. And what we actually mean by that is based on the current life circumstances, the season of your life, your energy level, the schedules that you have, and the challenges that you have. Work with what you have when you can. And if something changes, if a circumstance changes, if a schedule changes, if watermelon sucks this season, which it totally has, this was supposed to be the summer of perfect watermelon, and I have not gotten perfect watermelon.
I've had some good watermelon.
I have not.
But
I'm
yeah,
very
it's
upset.
Been lower quality than I've expected. But I think that, at its basics, even more basic than that is that you need to find things that you don't hate to do. That if you're eating foods that you hate, if you're doing exercise that you hate, if you're going through processes that you hate, eventually you're going to stop doing them, because we, like we said earlier, you can summon all the willpower and all the motivation for a little while and maybe do them for a bit, but you need to find like movement and diet plans and food that actually you don't hate so that you can keep doing them. Even if you can't find something that you love or that you truly enjoy, find things that like you're okay doing.
Yeah, adding.
And then you'll be able to keep doing them.
Adding things to your life. And I know for me, it is so overwhelming when we think about all the things we need to do, all the steps we need to take, like all the weight we need to lose, what our doctors say, what the ideals are in the world, but focusing on what's right in front of you and the small steps that you can take to make your life better does matter. I remember that feeling of just being like, oh my gosh, I'm going to sign up for this new program and it's going to change everything. Oh my gosh, maybe this is the fat blasting workout I need. Maybe this is the oh my gosh, this ticks all the boxes. It answers all of my problems. And waiting for that in the mail to show up, and you can unpack it and then unpack your new life along with it, just doesn't happen. We have the opportunity to take agency in our lives, to make small adaptive changes, and to understand that things are going to get in our way, and that is natural. And it is okay to have hiccups. It's okay to have setbacks. It's okay to regain and refocus and have vacations and have imperfect days, but focusing on that end goal of just, I'm working on myself in the circumstances that I'm in, and I want to feel good in my body. I know that we have done it. We are still doing it. I am not at the weight that I want to be right now, but I know the steps that I am willing to do right now to get myself there. And knowing that nobody's perfect. No, and if they are, I don't know, go to heck. No. Okay, I'll do everything. And if they are perfect, super-de-duper for them.
Yeah.
Yay for you, I say in a condescending voice. But we're not perfect. Pobody's Nerfect. And we can do this imperfectly and still make progress and feel successful. And if we can do it, we know that you can do it too.
Yeah, for real. Nobody was more lost than us.
But maybe there was someone, but you're the most imperfect.
Maybe.
Somebody's imperfect.
Well, thank you so much for listening to this imperfect podcast. We really appreciate it. We hope that you've gotten something out of it, and all of our episodes are available wherever you found this one. We have we're coming up on 280 of them, I think.
No, we're up over 280.
Oh yeah, my goodness, we're coming up on 290.
290.
Yeah, no, this is 289.
Oh my gosh, we're getting close to my start weight.
I'm like, I don't know, it's like 2 something.
I don't know. Well, what I go back and I'm like, oh yeah, we do this for like a year. Like last year's. Oh no, that was 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. We have over 5 years worth of episodes.
Oh my gosh.
Still available. They are on all of the major podcast platforms. Wherever you found this episode, they are available, and you can also find them at any time on our website, weonlylookthin.com.
Yep, and they're always there. If for some reason it doesn't load on your platform, you can't find it on your pod space or your beanbod or whatever, just remember, just go over
exactly.
to... I don't know.
Beanbod.
I don't know. Just go to weonlylookthin.com, and if you are at weonlylookthin.com, you can click on that link for Join Our Support Group to find out more about WOLT Place.
Yeah.
We Only Look Thin Place is our Facebook-based accountability group for women. We are not a weight loss plan, but we are a place for accountability, support, Zoom meetings. We are not, we are plan agnostic, I should say. We've got people doing intermittent fasting, tracking calories, Weight Watchers, lots of other things. And we're all there to support one another. We're not there to micromanage who has how many points or calories.
Yeah.
We're there to support each other in real life issues, boundary issues, activity, all those different things, just there to support each other. You're not alone in this. It can feel overwhelming and judgmental. We are not judgmental. We do have 2 subscription options, a monthly option with a 3-day complimentary trial and a 3-month subscription with a 7-day complimentary trial to see if WOLT Place is right for you. So check it out.
Yes, please check it out. And you can also check us out on social media. We are at We Only Look Thin on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Or you could send us an email. If you have questions about WOLT Place, if you have general weight loss and fitness questions, if there are topics you feel like we haven't done enough of, or things you feel like we haven't covered, haven't done a deep dive on in a while, send us an email. We've turned a lot of listener emails into episodes of the show. Or if you just want to say hello and tell us things you like about the show, we appreciate that. You can send an email to weonlylookthin@gmail.com.
Yep, and if you are searching for more ways to support our podcast, you can head over to Apple Podcast and leave us a rating and a review. Not only does it let us know that what we're doing is making a difference in your life, and really, we've been doing this for over 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, keep the compliments coming. Why not?
Yeah,
Let us know.
We appreciate it, and it really does help us out.
It really does. In any country, we see them in Canada and Australia and Germany, lots of different places. But please just reach out and let us know what we're doing matters. And it also helps when other people in your country, on your galaxy, in your planet, wherever throughout the galactic empire,
calories in, calories out works no matter what planet you're on.
Galaxies in, galaxies out.
Yeah.
Just promote the show. Why not? It'd be fun.
Yes, it would. And another way you can help the show out is to tell somebody about it. If you know somebody who you think would get something out of it, we would appreciate a shout out face to face. Or if you're on an internet group, if you're in a weight loss fitness related Facebook group, Discord server, or Reddit group, and it comes up, if you could give us a shout out, we really appreciate it. It is one of the best ways in which the show grows.
Yep.
So if you are watching late night infomercials and can't decide whether to order a Flowbee or He-Man's knife, just remember that Catherine and I are an inspiration.
I have the power. Can you imagine if he just never stopped saying that? Like if that was his power. We're like, okay,
you
dude.
buy the knife and you push a button and it says, I have the power. The information that you hear on this podcast is for informational purposes only. The hosts are not medical professionals. You should always consult with your doctor, nurse, or other certified health professional before beginning any diet or fitness program.
Dusty belt buckles. Dusty belt buckles.